Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel.
Welcome back to the ABC General Hospital Spoilers channel. Today we will learn about the electrifying twists and turns awaiting the residents of Port Charles over the next 2 weeks. Packed with suspense, heartfelt connections, and pulse-pounding revelations. In the shadowy underbelly of Port Charles, the upcoming episodes from November 10th to 21st promise a whirlwind of high-stakes intrigue that will keep viewers glued to their screens. At the heart of the chaos is a daring infiltration by young Gio Palmieri and the resourceful Emma Scorpio Drake, who venture into the forbidden confines of Professor Henry Dalton's secretive laboratory. What they uncover could shatter illusions and expose a web of ethical violations far more sinister than anyone imagined, drawing in a cadre of familiar faces and igniting multiple interconnected storylines. This central discovery serves as the catalyst for a cascade of events, blending moral dilemmas with personal vendettas and forcing characters to confront their deepest fears and loyalties. Week of November 10th to 14th, shadows in the lab and rising tensions. Gio and Emma's bold mission to breach Professor Dalton's high-security lab unfolds with nail-biting intensity as they navigate laser grids, encrypted keypads, and patrolling guards in the dead of night. Their success reveals not just flickering monitors displaying grotesque experiments, but also encrypted files hinting at a clandestine operation that blurs the line between scientific advancement and outright monstrosity, perhaps rogue genetic modifications on lab animals, or even whispers of human trials disguised as medical research. This horrifying validation of their suspicions propels them into action. Emma, drawing on her Scorpio heritage of espionage savvy, sketches out a plan to alert authorities, while Gio's street-smart instincts urge a more direct confrontation, potentially involving leaked footage to the press for maximum exposure. The duo's determination underscores a generational clash against unchecked ambition, highlighting how youthful idealism can clash with the cold machinery of institutional power. The fallout from this breach ripples outward, placing Britt Western in the crosshairs of fury from both the enigmatic Professor Dalton and his shadowy benefactor, Jens Sidwell. Britt, already navigating her fragile health with a cocktail of experimental treatments, finds herself coerced into deeper involvement with Sidwell's agenda. Perhaps tasked with covering up traces of the intrusion by falsifying lab logs or disposing of incriminating samples. Her reluctance boils over into tense negotiations where she leverages her medical expertise to demand concessions, all while grappling with the ethical rot at the core of the research. Could it involve bioengineered pathogens that threaten Port Charles' water supply? Meanwhile, Detective Dante Falconeri arrives on the scene, his badge gleaming under the lab's sterile lights, compelled to enforce the law amid the disarray. The agonizing question looms: will family ties force him to cuff his own son, Gio, for the felony of unauthorized entry? Dante's internal conflict deepens as he weighs paternal love against his oath, potentially leading to a heartfelt interrogation where buried resentments from Gio's rebellious youth resurface. Britt's unease amplifies with Pascal's unexpected arrival in Port Charles, a figure from her murky past who stirs memories of betrayal and survival in the corporate espionage world. Rattled, she turns to the steadfast Jason Morgan for solace, their conversation evolving into a rare vulnerable exchange amid the Quartermain stables, where Jason's quiet strength offers a momentary anchor. Yet, as they share a charged, intimate moment, perhaps a brush of hands over shared coffee, Professor Dalton bursts in, his face twisted in accusation, demanding Britt's allegiance or else. This interruption not only heightens the danger, but also raises stakes for Britt's survival. Sidwell's control over her vital medications becomes a weapon, with threats of dosage alterations that could trigger debilitating side effects or worse. In a bold pivot, Britt confronts Sidwell in a dimly lit boardroom, her voice steady as she issues an ultimatum: cease the lab's darkest pursuits or face her wrath, possibly by tipping off the FDA with insider data she's secretly compiled. This standoff reveals Britt's evolution from pawn to player, analyzing how her Huntington's battle has forged an unyielding resilience against manipulation. Elsewhere, Brooklyn Quartermain receives a gut-wrenching update that shatters her poised facade. Rumors swirl it ties directly to Dante's impending arrest of Gio. Perhaps a leaked police report implicating her own company's ties to Dalton's funding through obscure investments. Overwhelmed, she seeks refuge in the arms of her devoted husband, Harrison Chase, during a late-night walk along the docks, where she unloads fears of scandal tarnishing the Quartermaine legacy and endangering their budding family plans. Chase, ever the pillar, vows to investigate discreetly, drawing on his detective contacts to probe the lab's financial trails, which might uncover Sidwell's laundering schemes. This subplot delves into the Quartermaine dynasty's vulnerabilities, illustrating how one family's ambition can ensnare innocence in a broader conspiracy. Sidwell's intrigue extends to the alluring Ava Jerome, whose artistic soul and resilient spirit catch his eye during a chance encounter at the Jerome Gallery. What begins as a professional overture, perhaps commissioning a piece inspired by Port Charles undercurrents, evolves into flirtatious banter laced with danger, hinting at a steamy romance that could complicate Ava's loyalties to Sonny and her own guarded heart. Sidwell's charm masks ulterior motives, possibly using Ava as a conduit to influence local politics, analyzing the seductive pull of power in a town rife with forbidden attractions. Week of November 17th to 21st, hostages, confessions, and ultimate sacrifices. As the lab scandal simmers, Carly Spencer reels from a bombshell that appends her world. Speculation points to Jocelyn Jack's covert WSB assignment colliding with the lab's secrets, forcing Carly to confront her daughter's peril. Or alternatively, Lucas Jones' relocation to the foreboding Windermere Castle, stirring ghosts of the past and family fractures. Carly's shock manifests in a frantic call to Bobby for counsel, dissecting how her protective instincts clash with Jocelyn's independence, potentially leading to a mother-daughter rift mended through shared adversity. Anna Devane's peril escalates into a full-blown crisis, her captivity in a remote, fortified hideout exposed through cryptic clues like a discarded WSB badge found in the harbor. Kidnapped by forces unknown, Anna battles for survival against her unseen captors. Who might be remnants of Caesar Faison's network? Could the villain truly have evaded death through plastic surgery and false identities? Or is a new mastermind, perhaps Sidwell's operative, orchestrating this to silence her probes into the lab? Her predicament demands swift intervention. Robert Scorpio senses her absence during a routine check-in, mobilizing a rescue team that includes Frisco Jones, whose history with Faison adds layers of personal vendetta. This arc examines the toll of espionage on personal lives, with Anna's defiance shining as she deciphers escape routes from her cell, buying time for allies. Laura Collins faces a heart-wrenching crossroads, contemplating withdrawal from the mayoral campaign after a veiled threat arrives via anonymous note, possibly linking her anti-corruption platform to the lab's exposures. Her sacrifice might involve publicly disavowing key supporters to protect her family, including Kevin and the Spencers, in a tearful council meeting where she weighs civic duty against loved one's safety. This decision ripples through Port Charles' political landscape, analyzing themes of integrity amid coercion. Updates on Gio and Emma's crusade intensify as they rally evidence of the lab's atrocities. Vivid accounts of caged creatures subjected to endurance tests or shadowy figures in holding cells suggest human experimentation bordering on war crimes. With Dante's hesitation and Britt's insider leaks, the truth emerges, positioning the justice system as a potential lie through a grand jury probe. Port Charles buzzes with anticipation, from Sonny's strategic maneuvers to Portia's bombshell admission about her pregnancy's paternity. Does it confirm Curtis Ashford's role, or reveal Isaiah Gannon's unexpected claim, unraveling her medical empire? A.D.A. Justine Turner's alliance with Sonny Corinthos deepens over a casual pizza night at Pazzullo's, their banter evolving from legal sparring to genuine sparks. Yet, is this budding romance authentic, or a calculated ploy by Justine to ensnare Sonny in a Rico trap? Their chemistry sizzles with unspoken tensions, exploring the blurred lines between adversaries and lovers in a town of shifting alliances. Next, we will dive into the escalating tensions surrounding Jocelyn Jacks and her perilous undercover mission in Port Charles. In the shadowy world of espionage that General Hospital has so masterfully woven into its Port Charles narrative, Jocelyn Jacks finds herself teetering on the edge of disaster as Pascal, the ruthless operative from her past, slinks into town. This uninvited arrival couldn't come at a worse time for Jocelyn, whose fresh recruitment into the WSB has thrust her into a high-stakes operation targeting family ties and hidden agendas. Her assignment, handed down by the enigmatic Jack Brennan, requires her to infiltrate the life of her own uncle, Lucas Jones, all in pursuit of damning evidence against the elusive Marco Rios. Marco, revealed as the estranged offspring of the cunning Jen Sidwell, holds the keys to unlocking a web of illicit dealings that could topple empires. As Jocelyn navigates this treacherous path, the once familiar streets of Port Charles feel like a minefield, especially with Pascal's predatory eyes now scanning the horizon. Fans have long speculated on Jocelyn's growth from a college student entangled in romantic woes to a budding secret agent, but this plotline elevates her to new heights of vulnerability, blending personal loyalty with professional peril in ways that echo the show's classic family drama roots. The core of Jocelyn's directive hinges on forging an unbreakable bond with Lucas, using their blood connection as camouflage to extract vital intelligence on Marco's shadowy enterprises. Jack Brennan, ever the strategist with his piercing gaze and unyielding demeanor, sees Jocelyn's rookie status not as a liability, but as an asset. Her youthful energy and unassuming charm make her the perfect pawn in this game of deception. Yet, the mission's apex level demands expose her to layers of danger that even seasoned agents might flinch from. Imagine the thrill of late-night conversations laced with subtle probes, or the adrenaline rush of decoding cryptic messages hidden in everyday family gatherings. Adding inventive flair to this intrigue, picture Jocelyn attending a lavish Jones family barbecue at the Quartermain estate, where she casually steers talks toward Marco's business ventures while dodging prying questions from her meddlesome aunt, Tracy. This operation isn't just about gathering facts. It's a psychological tightrope, forcing Jocelyn to balance her genuine affection for Lucas against the cold calculus of betrayal. If successful, it could expose Sidwell's underground network of smuggling rings and forged alliances. But one slip could unravel everything, turning ally into adversary in an instant. Conveniently aligning with the plot's dramatic twists, Marco Rios extends an irresistible invitation for Lucas to relocate to the foreboding Windermere Castle, transforming a potential obstacle into Jocelyn's prime infiltration point. Windermere, that Gothic sentinel perched on Spoon Island, has always symbolized isolation and secrets in General Hospital lore, its stone walls whispering tales of lost loves and vengeful spirits. For Jocelyn, this move offers the ideal pretext: casual visits under the guise of familial support, allowing her to prowl the castle's labyrinthine halls unchecked. Envision her slipping into dimly lit libraries stacked with ancient tomes that might conceal financial ledgers, or eavesdropping on heated arguments in the grand dining room where candlelight flickers over tense negotiations. As a novice operative, Jocelyn's inexperience adds electric tension. Will her footsteps echo too loudly on the creaking floors, or her questions veer too close to suspicion? Jack's faith in her, despite the risks, underscores a mentorship dynamic ripe for exploration. Perhaps with flashbacks to her training sessions where Brennan drills her on evasion tactics amid simulated chases through foggy European alleys. This golden opportunity at Windermere isn't merely logistical. It's a narrative pivot that amplifies the stakes, intertwining Jocelyn's personal history with the island's haunted legacy. However, looming like a storm cloud over this meticulously planned scheme is the specter of Pascal, whose sudden presence in Port Charles reeks of ulterior motives and unfinished business. Once a nightmare incarnate, Pascal orchestrated the harrowing captivity of Jocelyn and her Alivon at the opulent yet sinister Five Poppies resort in Croatia, a sun-drenched paradise turned prison where moral boundaries dissolved into brutality. His methods, their devious traps, psychological manipulations, and a chilling disregard for human life painted him as a villain devoid of redemption, one who thrives on control and chaos. Now transplanted to Jocelyn's backyard, Pascal's agenda remains shrouded in mystery, but whispers among the WSB ranks suggest he might be freelancing for Sidwell, tasked with safeguarding Marco's secrets at any cost. Inventing a fresh layer to his character, consider Pascal posing as a reformed expatriate, charming locals at the Floating Rib with tales of his adventurous past, all while his sharp instincts hone in on potential threats. For Jocelyn, encountering him could shatter her cover in seconds. A chance meeting in Windermere's fog-shrouded gardens might spark recognition, forcing her to improvise excuses like a surprise family reunion. Pascal's unparalleled ability to dissect motives, honed through years of double crosses, positions him as the ultimate foil. Will he clock her nervous glances or the faint outline of a hidden recorder in her pocket? Delving deeper into the peril, Jocelyn's foray into Windermere could culminate in her becoming the castle's most unwilling guest, confined to its infamous tower as the latest in a lineage of Port Charles hostages. The tower, with its narrow windows overlooking treacherous waters and iron-barred doors that seal fates, has served as a chilling set piece for the show's most gripping arcs, evoking dread and desperation in equal measure. Jocelyn's predicament would mirror past imprisonments, but with a modern spy thriller edge. Perhaps she's bound with high-tech restraints that monitor her vitals, or subjected to interrogations broadcast via hidden cameras. If Pascal uncovers her snooping, his response would be swift and merciless, dragging her to the heights where isolation amplifies every creak and shadow. This scenario not only heightens the drama, but invites analysis of Jocelyn's resilience. Unlike previous captives who crumbled under pressure, her WSB training might equip her with lock-picking skills or distress signals disguised as jewelry, turning the tower from tomb to temporary fortress. The influx of resurrected characters in recent episodes, from presumed dead lovers to zombie-like returnees, fuels speculation that even the tower's ghosts could stir. Imagine a spectral warning from a long-gone resident guiding Jocelyn toward escape. Compounding the threats is Jens Sidwell's iron-fisted ruthlessness, a paternal figure whose warnings to Marco carry the weight of imminent violence. Sidwell, with his polished suits masking a venomous core, explicitly cautions his son that Lucas's residency at Windermere demands absolute discretion. Any whisper of forbidden knowledge invites dire repercussions, potentially extending to anyone entangled in the web, like Jocelyn. This paternal edict paints Sidwell as a kingpin who views loyalty as a blade, sharp on both edges. Marco's devotion is tested, while intruders face erasure. Expanding on this dynamic, envision Sidwell hosting clandestine meetings in Windermere's crypt-like basement, where deals are struck over aged whiskey and veiled threats, all under Pascal's watchful eye. For Jocelyn, crossing Sidwell's path could mean not just physical danger but a deeper unraveling. Her mission might unearth family secrets tying the Jacks lineage to Sidwell's empire, forcing moral reckonings amid the espionage. The show's history of ruthless antagonists ensures Sidwell's shadow looms large, his willingness to neutralize threats echoing villains like Helena Casadini, but with a contemporary corporate twist. As the plot thickens, red-hot spoilers tease a shocking revelation about Windermere's new butler, whose identity could unleash a torrent of catastrophic fallout for Jocelyn and her allies. This servant, cloaked in formality yet harboring explosive secrets, might be a plant from Pascal's network or a disgruntled ex-Windermere insider spilling beans to the highest bidder. Picture the butler's polished silver tray concealing surveillance devices, or his impeccable service masking eavesdropping on every private word exchanged in the castle's opulent chambers. When Jocelyn discovers this twist, perhaps during a midnight raid on the butler's pantry, she faces a cascade of consequences, from blown covers to frantic extractions orchestrated by Brennan. This element injects fresh suspense, questioning alliances and amplifying the theme of deception in everyday roles. GH enthusiasts brace for Jocelyn's potential misstep. Her rookie's zeal might lead to clumsiness, like leaving a glove behind or fumbling a conversation, handing Pascal the leverage he craves. Will she emerge unscathed, or will Windermere claim another soul in its Tower of Terrors? Stay tuned as these spoilers unfold, promising twists that will keep Port Charles on the edge of its seat.
Thanks for watching, guys. See you soon. Bye.